Today's guest is someone very special, and chances are you already know her. She is the founder of the Charleston Wine and Food Festival. She's worked in PR. She's worked with some of the best chefs across the country. She also is the biggest champion and cheerleader of women. Today, we introduce you to the new managing editor of Charleston Women magazine, Angel Holmes.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
I am thrilled to welcome to the Charleston Women Podcast the new managing editor of Charleston Women, Angel Holmes. Angel, welcome to the show.
Hi, Erin. So glad to be here and be talking to you about this exciting new project.
So first of all, this is going to be a great episode because we want people to get to know you. I have known you for years, and I just think it's funny how life comes full circle. Like I remember when you were working at the South Carolina Aquarium, and now here we are, you're managing editor of the Charleston Women podcast. So first of all, super exciting for the magazine. You are a visionary, you are a leader, and you're a community builder. So I can't wait to see what you do with everything. But do you just want to start to let the listeners know more about you, where you come from?
Yes, Erin, I remember the days back at the aquarium when I was on with you, and I've just loved doing life and business with you all of these years. So, but yeah, I'm from Charleston, born and raised, grew up in Mount Pleasant. And my father was a famous, at the time, state senator, and he went on to start the South Carolina lottery, Ernie Passaleg. A lot of people knew me from him for a long, long time, but I did go away to go to school and came back in 2000 and I guess paved my own way, and did a lot of cool things, including working for the aquarium. And then I had a PR and events business where I was working for mostly chefs and restaurateurs. And during that time was asked about starting a food and wine festival in Charleston. So crazily enough, got a group together to start the planning for that. And we created the Charleston Wine, it's now Wine and Food Festival. And I ran that for 10 years total, and then went on to do some other events. I had my own beverage conference, BevCon. I've worked for some amazing, amazing restaurants and tourist related businesses here in Charleston that I just absolutely love. So did a lot of that and have a lot of great background in PR, events, marketing. And then a year or so ago, I started a community called Like-Minded Charleston, which was for ambitious women or local entrepreneurs. And I just have decided to fold that into my community that I own and run, called the Brighter Side Society, which is really cool. So that's my whole life has been around events, PR, and community, like you said. So
I mean, I'm exhausted just listening to all of it. I mean, you have done so much. And as you said, everything has been community focused. I mean, the fact that you started Charleston Wine and Food, that's amazing. So again, what a treat for Charleston Women to get you as your managing editor. But this is a new role for you. You've never been in an editorial position before. So I guess let's just start with did they approach you? Let's start there. Yes.
Yeah.
So what made you, I'm sure you get hit up all the time. There's so many things that you could do, so many people that want a piece of Angel. What spoke to you about this magazine that you were like, this is where I want to move next?
Well, it is full circle because my degree was in journalism, and I actually wanted to work for Glamour magazine. That was my dream. And I've always written, obviously, on the side of the PR side and marketing side. And I did do the Daily Meal, which was an online publication. I was their Charleston editor for several years, doing that. So I've written for other little publications here and there. So I do love, and I'm fascinated with the industry and the business of really sharing stories. And I do view things like Charleston Women magazine as a place to bring, it is a community, right? You can share a community, you can share what's going on inside. So yes, when I was approached, I was definitely a little, not sure. Obviously I've got a lot going on, and I wanted to make sure anything I do the full extent, give it my all. And I love the magazine, but I definitely have a lot of ideas for it and a lot of things I want to just elevate and make better and have opportunities for women to be showcased in it. So when I was approached, I said, I'm interested. but I'm interested as long as we can really take it to the next level. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm really excited to do.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women podcast.
I'm sure you have a lot of things in the work, but can you share any tidbits with us? Like, what would you like to change or maybe add on moving forward that we can expect?
Yeah, well, the magazine really was an extension of Mount Pleasant magazine. It was an insert for so long. So to take it out and make it its own freestanding magazine was great. And I think it's a great foundation for what it can become for women, for Charleston women. And I really want, though, to make it its own identity and really make it more feminine based, where it's just really like a piece you want to keep around your house and reference and use, and more of a storytelling piece as well. So different designs and layouts and things like that, which will be really fun. We're already starting to work on that now, and it looks really good. And also definitely profiling a variety of people. I do think some of the profiles have been more driven on the supporters of the magazine, which is absolutely fine. But I think just a broader approach to that and really telling the full story about Charleston women and all of the amazing people, because there are so many new people here too. And I feel like I've been able, especially with the things I've done, with like-minded and just being from here, the women I've met and connected with, people like yourself, just to hear from you and what you're out there hearing and seeing and doing, and just getting all those connections together to share in one place, I think will be really exciting.
Yeah.
So I think just taking that and just expanding on, sharing that story about who Charleston women really are today.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I remember when I was a little girl from Ohio and I moved to Charleston many, many moons ago, I found a local magazine and I used to like keep those and pour into them. This was before we had like a lot of internet, but that was my guide to like what was cool, what was happening. And that's what I hear you saying, like being like almost like a welcoming place for new people, and also a place for connectivity for those of us who have been here a long time, that you can still show us new stuff, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, there are some great other publications in Charleston that serve different markets and needs, but this is specifically on women. And how incredible is that we can really dive deep in those stories. And like you said, there's so many new people, there's so many old people, there's so many, not old, but just people who've done so much that often get forgotten about. And so I just want it to be a good combination.
Do we classify as
all
old?
of that? Yes, we are a little bit old. I think so. When you hit menopause, you're like, okay, wait a minute.
How did this happen so quickly?
I know. What's going on? Let's backtrack, even though I feel like I'm part teenager. But, and that's the thing too, is like we have so much opportunity to get more of a youth voice inside and showcasing, just the diverse population of all of the different areas as it relates to women. And that's my goal.
Yeah. I want to ask you about the way the magazine looks, because you said you want it to be a piece that we keep around, that sits on the coffee table. You are so good with like Canva, with graphics, when you're like-minded, like just your pages are beautiful. So are we going to see maybe like a little bit of Angel in the magazine? I associate you with like pinks and light colors and airiness. Like, is that going to kind of cross over maybe?
Maybe. I can't give everything.
I know.
But I will say, just before this podcast, I was on Pinterest doing a lot of boards to reference. And yes, I think just more to visual aesthetics, like not as heavy on the copy. People don't read, their attention spans are so torn. So to just have more of a spread where you see a picture or you see reference guides, or you see just more, like I said, more of a story where it's not something you have to read necessarily, but you can look at the picture and really get the zest and the energy behind the person or the place or whatever it is. I do love the different sections of the magazine. So those will stay, but they're just going to be really expanded on. And I hope to add things that are in every magazine that you'll be like, oh, this is this this. I love
Mhm.
seeing every time I open Charleston Women. And there's a
Gotcha.
few things like that right now, but I think we're going to add even more
Yeah.
to that kind of personality that
I love that.
you'll come to expect. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I do have a certain aesthetic and I would love for more of that to pour into it. I'm not
Mhm.
designing it, but I am giving feedback, and we do have a new
Little
designer with
voice.
it.
Yeah.
And so she's really excited. And I've reached out to, of course, all of my photographer friends and my writer friends and my all
Mhm.
my friends in general and said, okay, I
Mhm.
want you a part of this
Mhm.
ASAP. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
excited.
and you are a connector without a doubt. Your entire life with everything that you've done, all of your different careers, with the memberships that you've had the last couple years, can we expect to see more in-person events, more connection points that will be associated with the magazine?
Yes. I don't know to the full extent, but we were definitely talking about that elevating. I know they have, we normally do the magazine launches, they
Hmm.
have some coffee meetups, but absolutely. And I think just partnerships in general, just really honing in on our partners, making sure we're out in the community as
Hmm.
a face, as a presence, supporting women and what they have going on as much as possible. Stacy and the crew at the magazine are already there. They're doing that. And I think they
Hmm.
want to continue and they just they're excited about that. I think just helping direct
Yeah,
that a little bit more and making it its own true standalone place for women is going to be so exciting.
that's awesome. Now I'm going to ask you, how do you have time for all this? You have your
So
own stuff. You have
Erin,
two, you're a mom, you have two sons.
I
Have any of them,
am.
have they gone to college yet or not yet?
So my son graduates. He's just graduated from high
Oh,
school. So he
just
starts
this
college.
year.
So crazy. So crazy. I
How are
know.
you doing?
I'm good. It's
Yeah.
definitely like surreal, but
Yeah.
I'm so excited for him. I know he's going to UNC Asheville. I know he'll love it there, and he's just ready to spread his wings. So I feel like I've done a good job raising him to go on into amazing things with
Hmm.
his life. And then my other son's going to be a junior, which is crazy. And then Brian and his daughter is a sophomore in college. So it's really fun in this age too to see them. There are more of friends, less of dependent beings that need
Right.
everything from us. But I am a master of time. I used to teach time management and I have dialed in my schedule. And again, I don't take on anything I can't give 100 million% to. So I was really intentional about doing this because, yes, I do have a community. I have a podcast. My husband and I are working on the place in the Caribbean. So we have things going on, but
Hmm.
I think just good management of time and effort and also just utilizing more resources too to get more people involved in it
Hmm.
and not just taking on everything on my own, but getting more writers involved, getting more
Hmm.
photographers and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
that's how.
Super exciting. I'm going to go to a total, different direction right now because you said you used to like teach time management.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can we like pick your brain just very briefly? Like what
Yeah.
nuggets can you share with our listeners? Because everyone is
Oh,
like, I need more hours in the day. So what is one thing you do that kind of changed your life to get things done?
well, definitely time blocking. If you're not time
Time
blocking,
blocking. I'm
it's
not.
so important. Oh, it is so
Let's
important.
go. This now just
And
became a 40-minute
I do teach
podcast.
this. I do teach this in the Brighter Side Society.
Yeah.
So anybody who's part of that, I do share with them. But no, I think the biggest thing you do is you sit down and you write out what you do with your time. You monitor it for about a week. You get a good handle on what you're doing. You obviously have set things you have to do every single day. Like if you go to a 9 to 5, that's what you do every single day. But then you prioritize the other things that you want to do.
Mhm.
And then you put them in buckets of time where you want to make sure they happen. And then what you realize is you're wasting your time on so much stuff that you need to just get rid
Mhm.
of, right?
Right.
Scrolling, Netflix, like on and on and on.
Mhm.
And then you come up with a really good schedule. It doesn't have to be super rigid, but that you have blocks of time where you're going to be doing, whether it's your emails, whether it's
Mhm.
your follow up, whether it's your outreach, whatever it is, marketing.
Mhm.
And then when that's going to happen. You're very rigid about that. But you
Mhm.
also schedule in your fun, your
Mhm.
family, your workouts, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you start sticking to that, you also can adjust it over time
Mhm.
too. But once you start sticking to that for about a week or two and you get it dialed in, you will become on autopilot. It's just like any other habit you do over
Mhm.
time. It starts to stick. And and it works. It just does. So you just have to be
Cool.
disciplined and you have to set it up. So I'm absolutely happy to help you with that. Like
I know. Coming to the
it's a
next
game
brighter
changer.
side meeting. Last
It's a game
question.
changer.
I just started thinking, like when you said you schedule like your emails, so I'm someone who's constantly like responding. I'm in email all day. Is it better for us to function to set aside like a specific time for emails?
Yes, it is.
That's my takeaway from
It's
today.
better to sign a set aside time for everything you do.
Yeah.
People say to me a lot, you're on social media all the time. I'm not. I'm on in the morning, in the middle of the day, and in the afternoon for about 10 to 15 minutes. It
Hmm.
looks like I'm on all the time because I'm very intentional about those 10 to 15 minutes,
Hmm.
but I'm not on it the whole day. Like I get off of it. When I'm off of it, I'm off of it. When I'm off of email, I'm off of email. Like you just have to be really diligent. And then I also set days that I work on certain things. So my Charleston Women Day is going to typically be Monday. So if you hear from me, it'll probably be on a Monday because that's the day I have blocked off to work on that part of my business. So you just kind of get a system set up and a schedule set up and you stick to it and you're going to be so much free. You'll get 2 to 3 extra hours a day on average. It's
That's
crazy.
great. Thank you for indulging me and all of us.
Yes, I love it.
It was about the magazine, then it's time blocking.
I do have a free journal. It's an Overwhelmed to Overjoy or Overflow journal, and it goes through some of this with you, so I can send it to you. But it's a
we'll put it
a great piece.
We can put it in the show notes too. So
and I also have a free guide for women entrepreneurs in Charleston too.
Oh, that's great.
I'd love to share.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so the guide and your all your links will be in the show notes.
All my stuff.
Before we go, I love asking women this question, and you've already talked about your time blocking, but I think when I meet really busy women like yourselves, professional go-getters, how do you start your day? Because I find it fascinating. Some women are like up and at 'em working out. Some people are meditating, praying, drinking coffee. Some people sleep in. Like, what is your schedule?
Yes, so I wake up every day at 6. Typically right on the dot. I don't need an alarm clock. It's crazy. And I do make my breakfast, but I pray and do journaling for about 30, 45 minutes. Then I get ready and typically try to go work out. I love the works is my place. I go do hot yoga, get my sweat and all the things going. And then I go through my day after that. So, but it's really good because it gets you grounded. And for me, like my faith is so important. And I can like, it just makes me like calmer and know that I'm not in control. A bigger person is, and they've got it. I'm just here to do whatever, I'm able to do. So it definitely is a good way to start your day.
I love that. And I love hot yoga too. I go at 6 a.m. Do you check your email or do any work before like your workout, before your hot yoga?
I typically don't.
Okay.
Unless I have a packed day and I have to do like a quick check-in. But I don't actually, that's another thing. I don't get on my social media or my email typically before. I might look at social media before I go inside the workout on the way, like from my car to the place. I have a few minutes, but I've already pre-scheduled everything. I've already done everything. I don't really get that in my head yet.
Okay. So you don't roll out of bed and like grab your phone and start scrolling?
No. Good. No, the only thing I do on my phone is my Bible app is on there. So I will reference that, but I don't go on social media.
Yeah. We've learned so much from you today. So before we go, like when is your first issue that's going to be under Angel's influence, if you will? When will we?
Yes. Oh, well, I'm excited. It's going to be fashion in the fall. And, I've reached out to all the girls, all of our friends.
Yeah, I'm sure I could list them.
I want you in here. You've got to be, it's going to be so fun. We've already got it mapped out and ready to go. And I will say, I would really love for people if they have ideas or they're doing, I know PR people obviously will pitch ideas, but anybody, if you're a woman in Charleston, if you're doing something interesting or that people need to know about, I'd love to hear from you. So I just want people to know I have an open email, like reach out to me, let me know all the things. I'm here and I'd love to learn more about what else is going on.
All right, Angel, thank you so much for your time today. We are so excited. We can't wait to see what's next for the magazine. You have been listening to the Charleston Women podcast with Angel Holmes, our new managing editor.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women podcast.